I'm about to show you the best, most foolproof method of setting up your Facebook ad account in 2026. Whether you're launching your first Facebook ads campaign or you're looking to scale, I'm about to show you the best way to set up your ad account when you're testing a new campaign and when you're ready to scale those winners into a scaling campaign. Let's get into the video. So I'm currently managing over $300,000 a month, and these two account structures is all you really need to be testing and scaling in 2026. Right when we start a new campaign, either we see a decent cost per result and the cost per result steadily decreases because of the way we set up our campaign. We know the creatives are decent, cost per results is reducing week over week, or we see immediately that we're not getting any results. We have to go back to the drawing board on the creative side, on the creative strategy side, and we have to completely redo the account as far as creatives and all that. But most people, once they launch their first campaign on Meta and the results are not what they expected it to be, they usually just turn it off and go to a completely different traffic source and say, Meta is not for me. Meta can work for any type of business, even in 2026 with this new Andromeda update. You just have to know exactly how to structure your account, and you have to know when to scale, when to kill your campaign, when to go back to the drawing board on your creative strategy, your ad creative side. So let's get into the most foolproof method in launching your first campaign and scaling that campaign. So how I typically like to launch every single account that I'm with starts with an ABO. The reason why we're doing an ABO and not a CBO is because if we start with the CBO, the budget is going to get distributed unequally to the creatives that we have. So say we're running 6 new creatives, it's usually only going to be going to 1 or 2, and we're not going to know for certain if the creatives 2 to 6 are a winner because it's only going to be going to 1 and 2. So that's why I like to do an ABO. It distributes the budget equally to the ad sets we have, and we can individually test whether the ads are a winner or whether the ads are not a winner. So we like to start off with an ABO campaign, and then we like to have 3 ad sets within 1 ABO campaign. So within these 3 ad sets, each of these 3 ad sets are going to have 3 different creative formats that we want to test. So obviously, before you even get to running Facebook ads, you got to make sure that you have the right arsenal of creatives. Think of making creatives as your ammo. And when you're running ads, you're going to war. So you need ammo, you need AKs, you need bullets, you need all that type of stuff in order to win the war on Meta, to win the war on Andromeda. You need to come correct. You know what I mean? So each of these 3 ad sets are going to be testing completely different creative types. So in this ad set, I have like a mini VSL / education on your product or service, whether you're selling a service, whether you're selling a e-commerce product. You can create some type of creative around a mini VSL. Ad set 2 concept is a quit nicotine problem. I'm basing this off of the flow pouches that I went off in the last video. So I'm basing this off of these nicotine alternative Zyn pouches. They have no nicotine, they have no caffeine, and they're all natural. This is a good product because there's a bunch of different angles that you can test. And within their ad library, they're testing a very good amount. And I really like their creative strategy. So that's how I'm kind of typically structuring this. So ad set 1 is going to be mini VSL education on your product or service. Ad set 2 is going to be completely different creative type. So it's going to be a quit nicotine problem awareness. So that's going to be the type of creatives we have around that. Now, whatever creatives you decide to make, AI UGC, with influencers, lifestyle content, with AI voiceovers, it's entirely up to you what types of creatives you can be making inside of each ad set. And then you could just apply it to whatever you're selling. And then ad set 3 will be a benefits after use lifestyle. So in this case would be for this anti-nicotine pouch, it could be like day 7 without using nicotine and only using flow pouches. My energy has been amazing. My sleep has been great. So that sort of stuff could be in ad set 3. So you could just apply this to whatever you're selling, apply this to whatever product or whatever service you may be selling. And then the budget for this, we're going to split our budget equally. So if we have $100 we're spending in the ABO campaign, we want to spend $33 on ad set 1, $33 on ad set 2, and $33 on ad set 3. So now I like to typically run this for about 7 to 14 days. And within that time span, you're going to see what types of creative concepts are winners, what types of ad creatives are winners. So you're going to see, okay, maybe this Maybe none of these are winners, but we got 2 winners on the mini VSL education side. And then we have one of these, the benefits after use for some period of time is a winner. And the rest of these are not winners. That's typically good. I mean, if you could get 3 ads out of 9 ads you're testing, 3 ads are winners. That's not bad numbers. You're about 33% hit rate. But the thing is, you can scale these to really good amounts. Most people can't even get one of these winners. And so if you're getting 3 out of 9 you're testing, that's a really good mark. So now once you have these 3 winners, now what are you going to do? How are you going to scale it? Getting to this point is hard enough. Scaling is going to be the easy part. The hardest part is going to be finding these 3 winners. You have to execute your creative strategy really well. You have to make sure your ad creative team is on point. Either you're your own ad creative team or you have your own dedicated ad creative team. They have to be on point. And you can't half-ass these creatives. You have to make sure that each of these creatives are quality. Each of these creatives are up to par, because you're competing with millions and millions of advertisers. People already know, okay, creative volume is the key to scale. So people are pushing out tons and tons of creatives, but they may not be as good as they could be. So make sure each of these ads you're really taking your time with the hooks, with the call to actions, with the scripts and all that type of stuff. Making sure that when you come into testing on Meta, you come correct, you have your ammo. And when you run a good test for 7 to 14 days, you're going to be putting in maybe $500,000, $1,500 into this test, that you're going to get a couple of winners out of this. So now once we have these 3 winners, now how I like to scale my campaigns nowadays, it's pretty simple. Once we identify a couple of winners in the testing campaign, I like to set up another campaign. It'll be a CBO. Budget as much as you want to scale, as much as you have to scale. So as much as you want, because it's going to be all in one ad set. Ad set 1, we'll just have the 4 or 3 winners that you get from the testing campaign. And that's typically all you really need to be scaling your ads. The hardest part is the testing phase, when you're finding out what types of ads are winners. And maybe you can even scale this campaign. I've seen accounts just run with this testing campaign, and they could run it for 3 to 6 months, maybe even longer than that. But once you want to scale and once you want to just kind of combine all the winners into one campaign, I like to have just one CBO campaign, one ad set with all the winners. And obviously, if you want to test different audiences, if you want to do retargeting, you can put that in there as well, and it'll spread the budget evenly. So if you have a retargeting campaigns, I typically like to do around 5 to 10% of our total budget. So you can add even in the retargeting campaign with some retargeting creatives that you have just for the retargeting campaign. But I like to do CBO when scaling because it typically just pushes the budget to the best winners. And you have the testing campaign to continuously put new creatives in. Obviously, this is not a once you set and you forget. This is not a set and forget type of thing. You need to always be coming out with new creative concepts, new ad creatives, and you can continue adding them into the testing campaign. Once you identify the winners, then you can add them into the CBO scaling campaign. Hey, if you're a brand or business and you're struggling to get creatives every single week, every single month, fresh creatives for your business, you should check out our done-for-you ad agency, Get Cracked Ads. Pretty much what I've seen from all the companies that I'm working with is it's a struggle for them to get fresh creatives every single week, every single month, and they just don't have the bandwidth to do so. So I started a done-for-you ad creative agency where you can purchase one-off ad creatives without a high monthly retainer, without working dedicated with the agency itself. So you can go ahead and pick one of our packages. If you have footage that you want to use, if you have scripts, all that type of stuff, you can go ahead and put it in the upload folder, and you can put in your brand assets, any type of raw footage you want. You can put in some scripts, some type of creative concepts you want to test. We'll go ahead and use any type of existing footage that you give us, along with AI characters. We don't do any real UGC. We're strictly doing AI UGC. But you should go ahead and test it out. If I were just starting out, I'd get a creative testing pack where you can get 3 video ads, 5 video ads, or 10 video ads. And if this is your first time ordering with us and you really don't like any of the ad creatives that we produce for you, We will refund you 7 days, no questions asked. And if you do like the ads and you need to revise them a little bit, we do offer unlimited revisions on that as well. So if your business needs ad creatives, check out getcrackedads.com and use code CRACK20 for 20% off your first order. So let's get into creating the campaign itself. Obviously, for each business is different. If you're selling a service and you're collecting leads, you're going to be clicking a lead campaign, and you're going to be doing instant forms, doing that way. If you're an e-commerce product, you're going to be clicking sales. But the same campaign structure applies for both. In this case, we'll be doing leads and instant forms. We're going to go leads, campaign spending limit none. For testing, we're going to be doing ad set budget. Share some of your budget with other ad sets. We're going to turn this off because obviously we want to isolate the variables. We want to just get equal spend in each ad set, in each creative. Now we go into the ad set. We can name this ad. We can name this ad set 1. Creative concept. Yeah, creative concept 1. So we can do instant forms if we're selling a service and we're collecting leads. If you're collecting leads, if you're selling a service, I would typically like to go maximize number of conversion leads. Typically gets us better CPLs, better leads, better quality of leads. Budget, obviously, if you're spending $100 a day, then the first ad set will be $33 a day. Location will be anywhere that your brand or service can target. And if you want to test interest in each ad set, you can. I typically don't do interest anymore. I found that the algorithm gets the customers I want without even doing interest anymore. So typically I don't like to use interest, but if you want to narrow your audience a little bit more, if you're selling a very niche product or service, then you can input a couple of interests in each of these ad sets. It's entirely up to your business model. It's entirely up to what you're selling. And yeah. And then obviously here is where you're going to input your creatives and all that. 3 ads for ad set 1, 3 ads for ad set 2, 3 ads for ad set 3. And then when you're scaling, obviously you're going to go over here, CBO campaign, 1 ad set. Take all your winners and duplicate them within the scaling ad set. You're going to want to duplicate it because all the existing reactions, all the comments and likes and stuff like that, you don't want that to be wasted. So go ahead and duplicate that into your winner ad set so that you're keeping all that engagement, keeping all the likes, and all that type of stuff. Our agency, Get Cracked Ads, is now accepting applicants for our done-for-you ad agency, where we're going to handle your creative strategy, your creative process, producing and editing your ad creatives, and managing your Meta, TikTok, and or Google ads. If you're interested in working with our agency, fill out the type form below. And if you're a good fit, I'm going to go ahead and personally reach out to you. Thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one.